Hello guys, welcome back. So now we are discussing about foreign currency settings. Okay, so foreign currency settings, like it's pretty simple. The currency value, charges, rate, whatever you say, that we have to specify where in exchange rate table. Now, two things are there. Two things means like okay, so we have like if you maintain the exchange rate table, we have an option called direct and indirect quotation. So what is this direct and indirect quotation, guys? That I'll explain here. Go to OP08. So here, which value I have specified? So exchange rate type M, USD to INR, and validity, right? So it was 24 I have given. 24, right? This one I have given again. Okay. So here I have specified the rate. I'll just make it like, let's suppose here 80 a round figure. Okay. Now look at here, when I save this, setting, system has generated a transport request. It means this is a part of configurations, right? But in real time, what is happening, guys? Transport request will not be generated. For this settings, and later there will be a session called landscape arrangement. So when I explain the landscape arrangement, I'll explain like the SAP server will be divided into certain part. Okay. So generally what happened, this will be because this is going to be maintained on regular basis, right? So this is not the part of configurations here, right? It depends upon like basis consultant will what do you say perform this settings and all, and this is how like the transport request is not going to be generated here for this settings. Okay, it will be like directly end user will be able to maintain this. Now whether they will be using directly this transaction code, or sometime what happened, the basis consultant, they will create a customized transaction code. Same thing will be copied over there also, and they will users will be having access. Not every user, limited number of user will be having access to maintain this exchange rate. Okay, not every user. Okay, so here now two options are there: direct quotations and indirect quotations. Look at here. If we talk about direct quotations, then I have specified 1 USD equals to 80 Indian currency. Then what is happening, guys? Then okay. Then here, okay, just do one thing. Go to FB50 and Let me check whether 1 USD itself. Yeah, 80. That's fine. So that rate itself is being picked up by system. Okay. Now, so generally what happened, guys? See, if we talk about like here, say for example, 1 USD equals to 80 INR, right? Now, so this example is of direct quotations. Okay, direct quotations. Direct quotation means what, guys? Direct quotation means 1 unit of, look at here, 1 unit of foreign currency is showing the total value of local currency. Okay, 1 unit of foreign currency is showing total value of local currency. So this is called direct quotation. Or is the rate can be specified in a different way also. Different way means, look at here, 1 USD equals to 80 INR. Or else we can say 1 INR equals to how many USD? How much USD, guys? 1 INR equals to, so simply 1 divided by 80, na?
Yes, sir. 1 by 80.
So here, okay. So 0.0125. It means 0.0125 USD. Okay. So any rate can be specified. This is called indirect quotation. Okay. Now here what happened, guys? See, look at here. This one is pretty simple for us to understand. Why? Because our currency value is lower than this US dollar. Our currency value is lower than euro. Our currency value is lower than multiple other currency from Middle East and all. So there what happened, guys? Everywhere you see like one Indian currency, one Indian rupees is equal to this much dinar. One US, one in, sorry, not in the sense like, okay, huh, one USD equals to 20, 80 rupees. One dinar equals to this much rupees, right? So it is quite simple to understand. Instead of saying this one that 1 rupees equals to this much USD or 1 rupees equals to this much euro. Euro means also it is going to be in such kind of things only. So even if you maintain the rate in this way also, then also the same price is itself like one US dollar, one Indian currency equals to this much USD. Then I'll tell you. Or so look at here. If you maintain the this rate, then also system will show the same value, but it's bit here. If I maintain indirect quotation, indirect quotation means look at here, one US dollar and here one Indian rupees. So generally, see, this is not one, and this is ratio 1:1, right? 1:1. Now here, if I say 80, it means this is one US dollar and this is rupees. So one US dollar equals to how much rupees? 80 INR. Or else here I can say 0.0125, in the sense one Indian rupees equals to how many US dollar? 0.0125. So here indirect quotation means what is happening? Indirect quotation means 1 unit of local currency shows the total value of foreign currency. Direct quotation means 1 unit of foreign currency shows the total value of local currency, right? and indirect quotation means 1 unit of foreign currency, sorry, one unit of local currency shows the total value of foreign currency. So whether you specify the rate like this, in this way or in this way, right? See, uh, if I save this one, okay. So now go to OB08 and here. So once again, exchange rate type M, currency USD to INR 24.6. This one. So instead of 80, I'll maintain now that 1 rupee equals to either 1 USD dollar equals to 80 rupees or 1 rupees equals to this much US dollar and save. Okay. In that case, again, SAP is saying that maintain the translation ratio for INR versus USD. Okay. INR versus USD. Okay. Now, generally what happened, the translation ratio which we have specified, that is USD versus, that is like 1:1 we have specified now, that is we have specified USD versus INR, and that is why this rate was being maintained, right? This rate was being maintained here. 1:1 we have maintained now. There we have given USD and then we have given INR, right? So here this is going to be maintained. 1 USD equals to 80 INR. Now I am saying that 1 INR equals to this much USD. Then SAP is saying that you just do one thing. Then here also you have to maintain INR versus USD also. Okay. So it's okay, no issues. And whenever it is going to be, when the translation ratio is being maintained, we maintain like foreign currency versus local currency versus foreign currency also, so that it will be quite easy for user whether they want to maintain the rate in under direct quotations or indirect quotations. That is totally their choices. Okay, their choices, because there are sometimes what happens, there are certain people, they are over smart, and they will be coming back saying that so I want to maintain the rate in this way, this is not what my requirement, right? So why to make unnecessary discussions? If you want to make it's okay, you can make it. So simply, if you maintain this one USD versus INR and INR versus USD both, in that case easily system will allow. Okay, and what is the use of translation ratio, that I'm explaining, don't worry. So here you need to go to, so this is like I'll tell you, if less number of currencies are there, that too like less number of currencies means mostly like organizations allow USD, Euro, and another 2 3 currencies will be there. In that only they will allow the transactions, right? In that case, it is quite simple. Or else, if multiple set of currencies are there, in that case we follow one pattern itself, right? Foreign currency versus local currency, like that we can follow. Okay, so in that case, again, this rate will not be allowed. They have to maintain the rate in direct under direct quotation itself. In direct quotations, SAP will say to maintain this translation ratio, and which is not maintained because we are following a particular pattern. It depends upon organization size. Okay. So now here I'll just do one thing, then go to OBBS and here new entry. So once again, exchange rate from INR to USD. Validity again, if previous date only no issues, 1 equals to 1. Just save it. So this reverse way also. Now, then INR versus USD means now what is happening from INR to USD? It means INR to USD means now one Indian currency equals to how many US dollar? That can be maintained here. Now, just do one thing. Right now, if I maintain system will allow or not. An entry is already there here, so I have to remove it and then press enter. Yes, now it is being allowed. I think yes. If I save it, yes, it is allowed. Right? And now what is happening, guys? When you people are also trying to maintain indirect quotations, now system will allow because I have already maintained here the translation ratio. I have already maintained INR versus USD also I have maintained. So now here what will happen? You can maintain that one INR equals to this much US dollar. So now, so even if you go to FD 50, this is just a mathematical calculations, guys. And here, okay, the company code I didn't change, but anyway, for any company code, guys, the same rate will be applicable, no matter whichever company codes are there, right? If you say here $1 this time, press enter, still 80 rupees itself, still 80 rupees itself is going to be because now the same calculation is happening, but here in the form of indirect quotations. Indirect quotations, right? So now, okay. So either you can maintain the rate under direct quotation or indirect quotations, right? Now, I'll tell you guys one thing. So here, generally for USD, we okay. So for USD, now I'll just do one thing. Now remove this one and maintain. Let's suppose here $80, or is I'll maintain $70 and save it because in US dollar we are habituated to understand this rate only. The rate which is specified under indirect quotation is bit difficult for us to understand that okay one Indian currency equals to this much. So it is in round figure, guys. That is why here it was like indirect quotation was also being calculated very easily. But generally what happened? This is what the rate which is specified on the financial institutions websites and all, right? Financial institutions websites. So generally in terms of USD, GBP, Euro, JPY, right? These are the currency which is having like more value and which is like treated as a global currencies, right? So we maintain the rate under direct quotation itself. What about indirect quotations? I'll let you know. So in that case, even if you don't maintain this one, just to show you guys, I have given this. Even if you don't maintain this one also, it's okay, right? So that's fine. If one or two pair of currencies are there, it's okay, we can maintain. That's fine, no issues. And but still, user means mostly they are going to use this one only. They'll maintain the rate 1 USD equals to this much INR. 1 USD equals to, and here after decimal, how many digits are there? 5 digits are there. Okay, so 5 digits also will be there because currency exchange rate means after decimal till 5 digits will be there. Okay, now again, so again this one will be converted. If somebody is going to convert this rate, like let's suppose here 20562, okay, 564, if this is the rate. Now look at here, if somebody has to convert this one as a direct indirect quotation, then the calculations will be quite different. Okay, different in the sense, like again they have to calculate manually only, because financial institutions and all, they will show this prices only. So that is the reason we maintain here under direct quotation. What about indirect quotations? Indirect quotation means that can be maintained. Let's suppose if any currency is there which is having less value compared to Indian currency. Multiple currencies are there, but generally what happens, those currencies are not being used for the trades and all. If you talk about like from African nations, there are certain countries, they are almost failed nation, we can say. Or is Iran is there, right? In Middle East itself, there is a country called Iran, which is having very, like, and even I think there are multiple countries, guys. I don't know, Indonesia is having the value, currency value is less than Indian rupees or more, I think that I have to check it. Iran itself, we can take the example.
Sri Lankan rupees are also so.
Which one? Sri Lankan. Yes. So likewise, even Nepali currency is also having this value only, right? 1 rupee equals to 1.6 or something. Nepali currency we can get, right? So now, if we talk about like Nepali currency means now here in USD, 1 USD equals to 80 INR. So this is direct quotations. One unit of foreign currency shows the total value of local currency. But let's suppose Nepali currency. Nepali currency means we say 1 INR equals to 1.6 Nepali currency. I think, is it like NPR or something? That we have to check. 1 INR equals to 1.6 Nepali currency. So what about this one? This is not direct quotation. This is indirect quotation, right? Here 1 unit of local currency is showing the total value of foreign currency, and this is for us quite easy to understand that one rupee is equals to this much Nepali currency. Why? Because Nepali currency value is lower than our currency. So when any currency value is lower than our currency, in that case we can maintain the rate under indirect quotations here. And if any currency value is having higher value compared to our currency, then we can maintain the rate under direct quotation. This is what the difference. Definitions is pretty simple, guys. Definition means, as I said, this is direct quotation. 1 unit of foreign currency shows the total value of local currency, and indirect quotation means here 1 unit of local currency is showing the total value of foreign currency, right? So look at here, indirect quotation means local currency is stronger than foreign currency. Direct quotation is being maintained when the foreign currency is stronger than local currency, right? Now, if you maintain this one, 1 INR equals to 1.6 NPR, then once again we have to maintain the ratio, translation ratio. So translation ratio means what, guys? Exchange rate type N, and here NPR, is it NPR itself or something? Nepali currency is there or not? NPR, Nepali rupees, right? NPR equals to NPR versus no INR versus NPR, right? Because INR versus NPR we are going to maintain now. One unit of local currency. One Indian rupees equals to how much? Nepali rupees, right? Earlier, one USD equals to how much Indian currency? So that is why USD versus INR I maintained. Now here 1:1, let's suppose. Run it from, let's suppose, edit. You can give the current details on issues. Now, so translation ratio I have specified. Then come here. No need to copy, simply click on new entry. Exchange rate type M, valid from. So give a date, current date itself you can give. Okay, or is like previous date I'm giving, that's fine. Now here INR NPR. So here 1 INR equals to how much NPR? 1.6. Press enter and save it. Right? So now if you, let's suppose, so here if you post an invoice in Nepali currency, so say for example, if I have received an invoice in Nepali currency, current date itself, NPR. If I have received the invoice in Nepali currency, if I have given this one, there is the amount. Then how much local currency, guys? Anyone? 1000, na? Press enter. Edit. Conversion factor is missing. The currency type B. NPR. What does it mean, guys? Okay, it means again somebody has given OB A7. Is it like here as a document type and we have given B? Okay, B I have given or somebody. I don't know whether I have given or somebody. It's okay. Now, so it means for previous testing also system was picking the rate from B itself, 80 rupees, right? But again in B I have maintained the 80 rupees, I think earlier in the previous session, right? I shown this logic actually. But anyway, guys, whatever the what you say this one indirect quotation and direct quotation, the rate I have specified. If you test, the same rate will be appearing over there if you calculate. Because right now the what to say exchange rate type B I maintained, and in B I have maintained the rate 80 itself. And here the example also I have quoted 80 rupees. So system was picking the rate from exchange rate type B, not from M, because in document type I have given exchange rate type B, right? But even right now I have removed. When you guys are going to perform your testing, then since B is removed already, so it is going to take from M itself, right? Now save it once and then come back here once again. Not USD, NPR. And let's suppose 1600. If you maintain 1600, then how much Indian currency? 1600 Nepali currency equals to 1000 Indian currency. Just press enter Now what is happening, guys? NPR INR is for M. Oh. So we have to maintain both now. In that case, what is happening, guys? So SAP is saying that you have to maintain NPR and INR also, right? Okay. Either we have to maintain NPR INR or else because we are following which one? Okay, USD. This is direct quotations now, and for this one I am going to follow indirect quotations. So SAP is saying that NPR INR also we have to follow, right? NPR INR or else okay. If I don't follow NPR INR, then what will happen? Okay, so now here, chalo, if I give here NPR versus INR, 1:1, right? Then what will happen, guys? And here it we have already specified direct quotations. Sorry, I was making a mistake, I think. Enter rate for 26, 25.06. That's fine, na? 25.06 is what? If it is given in 24th, it's supposed to be taken 24th itself, na? 4,000. Or do we need to maintain the first one at least in current date and then we have to proceed further? Let me check it. 1600 and press enter. No, we have to maintain the first in current date, right? So we'll do one thing. Just copy this one. NPR INR and 25th 0 6 2024 1:1, right? And again INR versus NPR 1:1 and save it. In current date we have to specify. Okay, now save it. So in that case, what is happening, guys? Now come here and press enter. And then if I specify here NPR, the GL amount, debit 1600, and if I press enter, then what is happening, guys? NPR rate in the type M. Okay, this is like here, right? Is it talking about this one? Save it. New entry. Can we maintain here INR and NPR? Is it like that? No, I think not like that. We have to specify here NPR and then INR, I think, right? And then we can maintain, here we can maintain 1 INR equals to 1.6 NPR. I think in this way we have to maintain, guys, the rate, isn't it? Yes. Save it once. And then I think system is going to take. Okay. So if I go to FD50 once again, then here NPR and 4000 and here debit 1600 if I maintain, then let's see. Yes, now 1000 is taken. Okay, so one mistake I was doing. Now what I'll do one thing, guys. I'll test it once again. Okay. So first of all, one thing is there. One thing is there. Whenever we maintain the rate, right? Whenever we maintain the rate, so what is our main requirement? The main requirement means we need to know, like, okay. So here the main requirement is, I just specify here. Uh, okay. Now I'll do. I'll do one thing, guys. Yeah. So now here, no, generally, so how to maintain the exchange rate table, right? Foreign currency versus local currency. We need to maintain the exchange rate table table in the form of foreign currency versus local currency. Okay, that is USD versus INR or anything. Let's suppose NPR versus also INR itself. Okay, now see, I'll tell you guys. Okay, so we have to maintain the exchange rate in this way itself. USD versus INR and NPR versus INR, right? Okay, what I'll do now, I'll just, these are the findings which I'm explaining here. Okay, so whenever you need to maintain the exchange rate table, so here foreign currency versus local currency we have to give. Now, if you maintain indirect quotations, if we maintain the price under direct quotations, okay, just I'll do one thing. Now, this is the only one price I have maintained here in Nepali currency. Right now, just delete it and save it. Okay, and whatever the translation ratio I have specified here for Nepali currency, that also I'll delete it. Just save it. Okay. Now, for US dollar, what is happening, guys? For US dollar, I have given direct and what to say, both I have maintained. Exchange rate type M, foreign currency like here INR versus USD at 24.06, right? Is it given? Okay, that is also I have deleted all, I think. Now I'll tell you. Generally, what happened? Okay. So the first thing is what we have to do. Okay. So we need to maintain the exchange rate. Note. We need to maintain the exchange rate table in the form of foreign currency versus local currency. Always. Okay. USD versus INR, NPR versus INR. The next one is for, okay, so now I'll just do one thing. For if I maintain for Nepali currency itself, we'll see, guys. Nepali currency means what? Nepali currency means, let's suppose two things are there. Just Nepali currency. Okay, Nepali currency means, just take example or forget about US dollar, because even multiple other people have also maintained the rate for US dollar also itself, right? Okay, now what I'll do, Nepali currency, all the settings I have deleted. Now, say for example, so here what is happening? One INR equals to, let's suppose, make it in round figure. 1 INR equals to 2 NPR. 1 Indian rupees equals to 2 Nepali rupees, right? Then 10 Indian rupees equals to how many Nepali rupees? 20 Nepali rupees. Very simple, right? 1 Indian rupees equals to 2 Nepali rupees. So what is happening, guys? Is this the example of direct quotation or indirect quotation? Anyone?
In
Indirect.
indirect quotation.
Indirect quotation because simple, one unit of local currency is showing the total unit of foreign currency, right? So if you have to specify the rate in this way, then indirect quotation, right? But generally what happened, guys, how to maintain the exchange rate table? So as I said, exchange rate table we have to maintain foreign currency versus local currency, because see what is our requirement. Ultimately you have to post the transaction into foreign currency, whether it is USD or IRR or NPR. Okay, so I just do one. Yes, I make it highlight. So in this way, so whether it is USD, IRR, NPR, whatever, in whichever currency you maintain the transactions, right? Generally, what happened? It's supposed to be converted into local currency. So first of all, you have to give foreign currency and then INR. Okay. Now, so generally, one unit, one Indian currency equals to two NPR. So in exchange rate table, what is happening? First of all, you have to give NPR because invoice you receive in foreign currency, and here INR. Okay. Now, so here I am saying that I want to maintain the rate like this one. One INR equals to how much NPR? 2 NPR, right? So this is the example of indirect quotations. How to maintain? So indirect quotation means, now what is happening, guys? So indirect quotation. When you are going to maintain the rate under indirect quotations, then how to maintain this? So here INR versus NPR is happening now. In the sense, one INR equals to 2 NPR, right? So in that case, indirect quotation means we have to maintain the exchange rate, sorry, translation ratio. How? Translation ratio INR versus NPR. I think. Let me check here. Some of you are still confused, guys. No need to worry, because ultimately, see, if you talk about exchange rate means, of course, this direct and indirect quotations. People can ask what is the difference between direct and indirect quotations. Translation ratio, what is the use of translation ratios? And like, or else sometimes people have quoted the example also, right? That quote, or else like they're asking that quote some example. So without understanding, again, it is impossible to quote the example. So translation ratio, I'll quote the example, don't worry. But right now, okay. So whenever, like, if indirect quotations, if the rates are going to be specified under indirect quotations, then here local currency versus foreign currency, I think we have to specify. Exchange, this translation ratio, no? We have to specify the rate. We have to specify how local currency versus foreign currency. I think. Let me check it. Go to OBBS, and then here you give exchange rate type and M and local currency now. So indirect quotation, it means one unit of local currency is going to show the total value of foreign currency. So one unit of local currency INR, and shows the total value of foreign currency, means NPR, valid. I'm giving the current date only. 1:1. Press enter and save it. Okay. And then if you go to the exchange rate table, so OB 08, and here valid, let's suppose current date itself, and here NPR, because the rate you have to specify foreign currency is going to be converted into local currency now. So first of all foreign currency, and then here local currency. But as I said, 1 rupee is equals to how much Nepali currency? So Nepali currency will be 2 rupees, right? Under indirect quotation I have given, press enter. Okay, because Nepali currency is having smaller value than local currency. So 2 rupees I have given, and look at here, it is accepted. So now generally what is happening, guys, if the rate is maintained under indirect quotations, then which translation ratio you have to maintain? Now if the rate is maintained under indirect quotation, if
The local versus foreign currency.
if the rate is maintained under indirect quotations, indirect quotations, indirect quotations, then translation ratio should be maintained in the form of what? Local currency versus foreign currency. Yeah, it is going to be maintained like this. Local currency versus foreign currency. Okay, the rate will be maintained in the form of local currency, like let's suppose NPR, NPR versus INR.
Sir, sir, INR versus NPS.
Sorry, INR versus NPR, right? INR versus NPR, right? Now, note number one, first of all, we need to maintain the exchange rate table. The exchange rate table will be maintained in this format. Okay. If the rate is maintained under indirect quotations, then the translation should be translation ratio should be maintained in the form of local currency versus foreign currency. That is INR versus NPR. Right? And vice versa. Right? Vice versa means if the same, this is the one rate, guys, right? What? This is the one. 1 Indian rupee is equals to this one, 2 Nepali currency. That's fine. So if the rate is maintained under indirect quotations, then what happened? we have to maintain this one, translation ratio. If the rate is maintained under direct quotations, if the rate is maintained under direct quotation, then what is happening, guys? Then we have to maintain foreign currency versus local currency. Say for example, this is indirect quotations. 2 NPR, 1 INR equals to 2 NPR. Indirect quotation, 1 unit of local currency shows the total value of foreign currency. Direct quotations. Direct quotations. Or else we can say that 1 NPR equals to how much INR, guys?
Zero point 0.5.
Simple,
50 paisa.
0.5 INR, right?
Yes.
So if you want to maintain the rate in this way, this is called direct quotations. So here, this will be maintained if indirect quotation is there. The translation ratio 1 is to 1. 1 is to 1. Translation ratio 1 is to 1 will be maintained. This one, INR versus NPR, if this is the case. If direct quotation is there, if you maintain the rate here, direct quotation means 1 NPR equals to 0.5 INR, then what will happen? Then we have to maintain here translation ratio what? NPR versus INR, right? 1 unit of foreign currency is showing the total value of local currency, right? So here translation ratio will be maintained. How? The translation ratio will be maintained foreign currency versus local currency. Simple, guys. See, indirect quotation. 1 unit of local currency shows the total value of foreign currency, right? In that case, local currency versus foreign currency. 1 unit of foreign currency shows the total value of your local currency. So foreign currency versus local currency. This is how the translation ratio will be maintained. 1 is to 1 itself you have to maintain. Okay. 1 is to 10, 1 is to 100 also can be maintained if the due to inflations and all that I'll explain now in next session, guys. So now here let's suppose if I have to maintain, okay, now you delete this one, okay, and you delete this one also. So say for example, if I have to maintain, okay, so if I have to maintain what? Save this one also. If I have to maintain rate, this one, direct quotations, in where like 1 unit of foreign currency shows the total value of local currency, right? So 1 unit of foreign currency, exchange rate type M, 1 unit of foreign currency. So foreign currency is NPR versus INR. Validity date 1 is to 1 you can specify. If you have to maintain the rates under direct quotations, then you have to maintain like this. And then here we can give M valid from, let's suppose, NPR versus INR. Okay, I said like 1 unit of foreign currency shows the total value of local currency 0.5. Press enter. Yes, it is accepted. Yes, it is accepted here. Now it is accepted. And then also, if you post the invoice, the same thing. If you post like let's suppose FD50, come here and NPR. And say for example, if I make like 2000 2000 Nepali currency equals to how much Indian rupees, guys?
1000.
1000. Press enter, it is going to calculate 1000 here, right? So these two things we have to keep in your mind, how to maintain this translation ratio. So translation ratio, it's all depend upon what? Whether we maintain the rates under direct quotations or indirect quotations. Okay, I'll just do one thing. USD is there, na? So once again, in next session, I'll quote one example of USD and I'll ask the question from you people only. Okay, and then we'll proceed further for this translation ratio. So generally what is happening, direct quotation and indirect quotations. So when direct quotation is going to be maintained, when indirect quotation is going to be maintained. So generally, if our currency value is lower than the foreign currency, in that case we maintain the rate under direct quotations, right? Like, so 1 USD equals to 80 INR. In that case, the rate is being maintained where? Under direct quotations. Direct quotations. Indirect quotation means when I say that 1 INR, because we have to maintain the rate, the local currency will be always your like right side only. First of all, we have to specify the foreign currency itself. So 1 INR equals to 2 NPR. So this is, look at here, this is indirect quotations. So when indirect quotation is there, then what is happening, guys? Translation ratio we have to maintain how? Local currency versus foreign currency. So here INR versus NPR, and here if direct quotation is there, then you have to maintain USD versus INR. Okay, this is what the example is there. Can I copy and can I paste here? I'll just do one. Make it bold. Okay, so exchange rate, and here translation ratio. Okay, it will be maintained like this. So we'll do one thing. Just take the screenshot only. This way we can maintain. Can be maintained in this way. Okay, so generally when we maintain direct quotations or when we maintain indirect quotations, direct quotation means if our currency value is lower than foreign currency, then the rate will be specified under direct quotation. If our currency value is higher than the foreign currency, then rate can be specified under indirect quotation. This is what the difference. What is the definition of direct quotations and indirect quotation, guys? So look at here. I have quoted one example already here, right? Okay, this Iranian currency, I'll give an example tomorrow in the next session. Okay, and okay, tomorrow there won't be any session, guys. So in next day after tomorrow, I'll just explain this one. So again, this is like going to be quoted when I explain this one. Translation is here. So now generally what happened? Indirect quotation and direct quotations. One unit of foreign currency shows the total value of local currency, that is your direct quotation, and indirect quotation means one unit of local currency is showing total unit of foreign currency. I think here I'll just quote the example of okay NPR itself, right? NPR 1 INR equals to, let's suppose, 2 NPR, right? This is indirect quotations. In this way, we are going to maintain, but 1 USD equals to 50 INR. This is going to be, so here 50 will be specified under direct quotations, and here 1 INR equals to 2 NPR. 2 will be specified under where? Under indirect quotations. Here it is supposed to be specified, right? So now, so this is what the logic of direct quotations and indirect quotation, guys. So that's all in this session, and that's all for today.